we need to talk about why it's so hard for the red hats to wake up. Now, I could tell you all about the psyops that have been happening against our citizens by our own country and by other countries. I could tell you all about abuse dynamics, cult dynamics, Stockholm syndrome, the mother wound, all these things that make people cling to their abusers and cling to their lies. I could also talk about cognitive dissonance and brainwashing and all of these things. All of these things are very valid, very real, but I'm not an expert in these things. I'm a psychic medium and I'm a healer. And in my 10 years of professional work, I have seen some shit. And that's what we're going to talk about. There are very real changes to the energy system and to the physical body of a person who has been part of any kind of indoctrination. It changes you physiologically. It actually alters the way your brain and your body function. And as a psychic medium and a healer who can psychically see into the brain and can see what kind of energies are around you, what kind of programs have been put into you, and what kind of energies and spirits are hanging around you to fuck with you, let me tell you, this is not simple. This is complex, and in many cases, it is very dark. This might have to be a two-parter, because like I said, I've seen some shit. It's time we talk about it. So make sure you like and follow for part 2, or 3 or 4, however many it takes. This story is about the brains of people who have been indoctrinated. And this will be especially important to those of you who have been in religion, and in particular, a cult religion like Mormonism, because that's where this story takes place. As many of you know, I was born and raised Mormon, left the church many years ago, but still live here in Utah, where it's everywhere, and most of my family is still in it, so I am very deeply involved in the religion, or have been. But as someone who's left and done the deconstruction journey, and as someone who has worked as a professional psychic and healer for years, with people doing the deconstruction, let me tell you, there is some literal, actual dark magic happening here. I first became aware of this when my son was baptized at 8 years old, and it got real weird, real fast. This was literally the same month that I was formally outed and officially left the church. And when I saw what I saw, that was the final nail in the coffin, never going back. So in the Mormon church, children get baptized at 8 years old, and they have what's called a confirmation, where the priesthood leaders of the church lay their hands on your head, give you a priesthood blessing, and they give you the gift of the Holy Ghost, because in Mormonism, it has to be given to you, and you can only keep it if you are perfect and do all the good things. So after my son was baptized, he started acting weird. And at first it was kind of cute-ish, I guess. He carried his scriptures around like all the time. And then he started wearing his church suits all the time. And this wasn't entirely out of the realm for him, because when he was young, he used to be really obsessed with movie characters, and he would dress like them and pick up their mannerisms. So this is kind of one of his quirks. But the longer this went on, the more unsettled I felt. This was something else. This had an edge to it. It made me very uncomfortable. So I tuned in and asked Spirit to show me what the hell, what is going on. I was shown clairvoyantly, I was shown into his brain, and I was shown all the little curves and the gray matter and all this stuff. And then I was shown this black, sticky, tar-like substance that was spreading in between all the little spaces of his brain. Now, many people in the energy healing world recognize these and call them implants. It's a very specific thought control program that is put into your mind that dictates codes of behavior, ways of thinking. It communicates an entire set of thoughts and behaviors that are acceptable for you to fulfill, and that lock down the structures of your brain, and they prevent proper neuroplasticity and free thinking, essentially. They lock you out of the potential of free thinking. And the longer these programs or these implants run, the more rigid and severe your mind and behavior become. And I was told that this was implanted when they placed their hands on his head. Through that blessing, that is what they were putting in. Now, these local priesthood members, they don't know this. They don't know what they're doing. They're told a thing and then they do it. But this church was founded by a charlatan who knew enough about mysticism and esoteric magic to be dangerous. And he was. So when I found this, when I was told all this information, of course, I went full witch, full priestess, mad mama bear. And I ripped this shit out and I cleared it all out of his mind. And not only was there an instant change in this kid, but it went a step further. Put away his suits, put away the scriptures, never touched him again. Boom. And he didn't know I was doing any of this. This was me privately. He didn't know I did any of this, but boom, it was over. And then, every time he would go to church, after this, he would come home and he would tell me, Mom, can you believe that these people actually believe this stuff? And he would tell me everything they taught him in class, and he would laugh about it and was bewildered. He's like, I can't believe they all think this is real. How could they believe this is real? It's ridiculous. He'd never said any of that before, or even seemed to notice. Just sort of lulled in complacency like everybody else. But at 8 years old, all of a sudden, his mind was open and he could see through it. And he was shocked at how nobody else could. So if you ever wonder why Mormons creep you out and why they're all the same and they're weirdly happy, but there's something off about them, that's why. Now, of course, with this, I asked my spirit team, do I have this too? Do we all have this too? And for me, no, I did not. When I was 8 years old, when I was about to be baptized, I got very sick and I had a very high fever for almost a week, and we almost canceled the baptism. But on the day, I was well enough to get up and go be baptized, and then I came home and immediately went back to bed. The spirit told me that that fever was creating an inhospitable environment for any kind of energy programs or conditioning or anything that was going to be put in my body. It didn't take. And that's why I never believed it growing up. I didn't believe it as an adult either, but it was a social thing. And we're not going to get into it, all right? If you know, you know. There are pressures, there are reasons that you'd want to align yourself with that community if you are a mom in Utah. Now, this is a program very specific to that religion and that church, but I have seen programs like this in the minds of other people, not in religion. This cult-like groupthink scenario, it's not harmless, and it's not because people are dumb. It's because the people who are creating these cults, these egregores, it does create an energetic program that infests the minds of people, that alters the way they think and the way they behave. And there are reports on this. There are documentaries on this. Look into how the cadence of Fox News has been known to hypnotize people, and how even Trump's own cadence of speaking has a hypnotic lilt to it. Now, of course, saying this for my safety and for the safety of this content, I have to say, for entertainment purposes only. These are just fun ideas. Smile, wink. But if you go looking, there is science and data to back this up. And I, as a psychic medium, with the ability to see these kinds of things, I have seen it again and again and again. These people's minds are not free. And as they begin to awaken from this, they have to fight through a lot of shit to even get there. So with everyone out there on a high horse going, how could they not know? We told them, how come they didn't know? They don't know. They're incapable of knowing until they reach a psychological breaking point that allows them to break out of the programming. Only then can they even begin to conceptualize that they were under any sort of program at all. And that is why our patience and our understanding is so crucial for those who are beginning to wake up. If you want more content like this, the things that I've seen and how people's brains are controlled, let me know in the comments and follow for more.